This is Trinesha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about His Saving Grace. So I know I always say, well, it seems like a weird title or whatever else, and people might not understand whatever else, but listen, I heard this thing from a sermon and it really blessed my soul. So I was I was having a moment yesterday, not a moment like I usually do when I get all emotional, I'm going through stuff or whatever else, but it was just a moment where was it yesterday? Well, yesterday I was talking about it, but it happened Saturday. When you see this, it'll probably be like 3 weeks after, or something like that. 2.5, 1.5, 2 weeks, something like that. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, so I was having a moment on Saturday when I went out and about. I just kind of decided to get my makeup done so I can learn new makeup skills because, I always just do eyeshadow and mascara. I never do makeup. And so lately I have been like now when you see the video since that last video, I didn't do a video that day when I got my makeup done. But anyways, I decided that I was going to put more of an effort into the whole face instead of just doing like that's why you can see like it's all extra like I got this little glow thing going on. It's because of the makeup. And so I mean I'm glowing anyways. Usually you see my skin and it's like glowing, but that's God. That's not makeup. And so so this is with the makeup. And so I decided that that was something that I was going to do. And as I got my makeup done, I decided, okay, well, my makeup is already done. I was going to go grocery shopping and I decided, well, I'm going to make a day of this. I'm a night of this. And so I end up going to this one place. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about all that or anything else, but the one place I went ended up going to, it didn't feel like my type of place, that I would go. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else. So I went to this place. It was like people about my age, and there were a few younger people there. And there was this guy playing guitar. So I just kind of sat there and listened to the guitar player play acoustic guitar music, and stuff like that. So it was like songs like that were kind of like really good songs that kind of soothe your soul a little. They're like a kind of like that neo soul or when you listen to a really good like rock song that's the acoustic version, it's kind of like that. And so so I went there and I listened to that. I met this young lady who is a little bit older than me and we kind of like clicked right away. So we started talking and stuff like that. And she said, well, why don't you go to this place with me? One of my friends owns a place, you should just come with me there. And so I was like, okay, I was like, well, I was going to go home after this, but yeah, okay, sure. I'll make a day of it. So I go and I did have a good time. And I also didn't, when I was there, it kind of took me back to, who I was before I, rededicated my life to God and all of that other stuff. So I was just kind of like, oh, it kind of feels different being in this place now. It doesn't feel like it did when I back in the day. And it wasn't that I was doing anything, out of bounds or anything like that. I just was hanging around, just talking to different people, speaking life into people because apparently that's my thing now. So no matter where you take me, you can take the girl out of church, but you can't take the church out the girl. So I was in there just like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh my God, and I was just, I mean, I was like being everybody's hype man for real because, I just feel like nothing makes me feel better on the inside than me speaking life into somebody else. Like if speaking life into people was a job, I'm the person, you know. But anyways, so as I was having my moment and I was thinking, okay, I've been doing so well. I've been obedient. I've been listening to God. I've been doing the things I need to do. And God's been getting on me about being more actionable. And it's not that I have been lazy and I haven't been doing everything. I've been doing too much of the wrong things. And so when God's like, hey, I need you to do this, I'm kind of like, okay. And I'm like hesitantly walking into what it is that God is telling me to do because, you know, after all of the horrible decisions I've made in my life, I don't want to, that seems so drastic when I put it like that, but every person makes mistakes. After my past mistakes, I just started feeling like, okay, well, I need to I need to make sure that I make better decisions. And so when I make decisions, sometimes I'm kind of like, like because even though I've forgiven myself, sometimes it's hard for me to trust myself. And I don't know if you can relate to that, but it's kind of like you're after you forgive yourself, you're like, okay, I forgive you. I forgive you for letting yourself be in that relationship too long. I forgive you for making this type of decision when you knew that you should have made this type of decision or whatever else. And when I go through life now, although I believe God is going to see me through, when I make a decision for myself, I'm kind of like, like, okay, I got a lot of making up to do. Like I wasted so many years. I have to do right by God now, and sometimes that can stifle me a little. And sometimes it makes me a little hesitant in areas where I should be going full force into my purpose, so I'm trying to really work on that. But I was having this moment on Saturday and I was just kind of like, okay, well, God, I've been ready for like this month. And, you're saying that this is what you are promising me in my life. And I know when God makes a promise, he's going to keep it. The thing is, God's time isn't on your timing. I could want something right now and God could say, you're not ready yet. And so in the meantime, while I'm waiting, and this was just a split second thought, but I was just like, oh, I could just go back to do some of the things that I used to do. And it's so funny. I thought that and immediately heard a message that redirected my thought pattern. Not only that, but then I went to this place and it reminded me I'm not that person anymore. Like, yes, that person is a part of me, but that's not me, and if I'm saying that I'm willing to just go back to an ex or go back to the way that I used to live, it's not going to have God's grace on it. Not only that, but I heard something today in a sermon that I was like, whoo. He said saving. He said God is saving you. And I was like, you know what? His saving grace. That's exactly what it is. It's God's grace that's on you when you're in his presence that really helps you in tough areas of your life. It's God's grace that really keeps you in moments when you're not willing to keep yourself, you know? And so what the pastor said is God is saving you for something. He is not keeping you from anything. He is keeping you for something. He didn't say the last thing. He said God is saving you for something, but I added my own little Nisha-ism on the end. So so God is keeping you for something, not from something. That's something that I feel like we all should remember when we think about our waiting season, when we think about being on pause, when we think about all of the things that we've done in the past and how it could seem so easy just to turn around and do the wrong thing. Like, oh, I know how that's going to turn out. I know how this guy is. I know how this situation is. I know how it feels to be in this place. But do you really? Because if you go back to that same place, I promise you won't feel the same fulfillment that you felt in that moment, because it wasn't hitting like it used to. It was nice. I had a good time, but it wasn't like I was looking for myself there. I didn't feel lost when I was there. I knew who I was. When I walked in with purpose. I walked in, I didn't know what to expect there, but I knew what to expect from myself. So even though everyone else was doing whatever it was that they were doing, I knew that I needed to be who I was, regardless of where I was, regardless of where God positioned me in my life, regardless of where I went. I needed to make sure I was true to myself. And I did that. And for that, I'm proud of myself. Now, there were some moments where I was just kind of like, I mean, I did like a little dance like this or whatever, and it's fine. It's nothing wrong with dancing. But I just I had a moment where I was listening to this pastor say something about different musics in your ear gates. And 99% of the time I'm listening to gospel or Christian music anyways. And I say or, even though they're both one and the same, but so if you go to certain churches and they play Christian music, it's usually like a pop version. If you listen to gospel music, it's got some soul in it. So that's why I differentiated between the two, although they have the same vision. They have the same purpose to praise God, So so it was kind of like that. And I was like, okay, I was lending my ear gates to music that I don't usually listen to when I was at this place. And it wasn't like it was horrible, horrible music. It was just like I don't usually listen to R&B or whatever else. So it was just kind of like, and then I was like, okay, I got to make sure that it's not going to do anything to weaken my flesh or weaken me and my spirit. Like, I need to make sure that this isn't something that's going to deter me from the things that I need to do in my life, because I need to stay focused. And so whenever you feel weak, because it's going to be a moment, and I know there's a lot of women online and other places, and I'm not getting on women. I think that you are beautiful, you are strong just the way you are, and how you do your videos is great. But since I have this other platform and there might be other people who are going through a struggle or having a hard time, I want them to know that you're not alone. And sometimes you do get a moment of weakness. Sometimes you do have a moment where you feel like, okay, God, it just seems like all of these guys are not the one. It seems like every single person is not equally yoked, or they're not a good fit. And it's like, sometimes you want to internalize it, but then you have to remember who you are. You have to remember that, ooh, mm-mm-mm. You have to remember that God is saving you for something. He is not just keeping you from anything. And there was this note that the pastor said as well earlier. Oh, this is what it is. This is the thing that he said right after that, that I was like, whew, if every woman could hear this at this moment, it would bless you. It really would. And every time you have a moment of weakness, keep on a postcard. I don't care if you got to keep it in your phone on your screensaver. I don't care if you got to put it on your computer when it first comes up. You need to put it somewhere where you see it every single day while you're single. And while you're in your single season, firstly, utilize the single season and do everything to the best of your ability. I can't be on here long because I got to go to Bible study in a little bit, and God comes first. Even though I'm serving right now, I need to make sure that I'm intentional about every type of thing that I'm doing to build my relationship with God. And so I'm gonna have to go in a little bit, but listen, while I'm on here, I'm gonna try to give as much information as I possibly can, unless I have to pause and then come back after Bible study. I might have to do that as well. But so when you're in your single season, utilize that season. Don't wait for somebody else to start living in your purpose. God gave you a purpose before a person. So don't feel like the person is going to give you your purpose. God is going to give you specifically your purpose. While you are walking in your purpose, while you are doing things, while you are healing in your single season, while you are utilizing the time that you have, the things that you have around you, God is going to be blessing you. When you get in covenant, when you get with your kingdom spouse, God is going to bless that relationship as well. But you will already have your purpose. You will already know who and whose you are. That person is not going to fulfill a God-sized hole. I'm telling you, because I used to believe that a person could fill God's shoes. And I know that sounds so crazy right now while I'm in it. I'm in living this God life. But before, it really was like I was expecting a human being to be God. And no person would ever be God because we are flawed. We are not perfect at all. And so that is an unrealistic standard to ever put on a person. You have to find happiness within yourself, because just like that person can make you happy, that person could break you in the same sentence. So you don't ever want your life to hinge on the stance or the words of another human being. You have to live on God's word and allow that to feed your soul you know so I hope you understand how beautiful, how smart, how you're everything God created you to be, how you are the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more than a conqueror. You have everything that you need, so utilize it. And then when that person comes, it will be an added blessing. It will be so much grace all over you you know And that's where a lot of people will see, okay, well, this person's getting all of this because they're in a relationship. Yes, God is blessing it because it's a kingdom relationship, but He will also bless you while you're in your single season. So this is the thing that the pastor said. So hold on to this. You know, don't don't just hold on to this more than God's word, but hold on to this in the meantime while you're graciously serving in your single season, in every season that you're in. Because when you get in a relationship, make sure that you appreciate the person that you're with as well, and don't say, well, I wish I could go back to being single because I want to do all these things. Do it now. Don't wait, because you don't know how much time God is gracing you with. You know, So the pastor said, there will always be someone who does not know your worth. Do not be one of them. Don't let it be you. When he said that, I felt that in my soul, because it just seems like every person is not the one, which is good, because I don't want to waste my time on people who are not a good fit for me, who God didn't grace for me anyways. But, in the moment, sometimes it doesn't feel good. And for the women that do say, oh, I don't mind, it doesn't matter to me, you got something on you that I wish I had inside of me, because I have moments of weakness like every other human being. I wish I could sit here and pretend like nothing ever bothers me, but that is not realistic. And I just want all of the women out there who are single, even women in relationships, just appreciate everything that you have and know that not everyone is going to choose you, because it's only someone that's appointed in grace for you that will do that. And while you are waiting graciously with, a gracious and a servicing attitude, with a smile, with joy on your heart, because you have to be pleasant. God can't bless you with more if you have a bitter face, if you are just walking around as if you are waiting for something else. You have to patiently wait. And although sometimes you may get impatient, sometimes you want it now, know that God is doing it for your benefit, because He doesn't want to give you anything prematurely. So, in conclusion, allow God's saving grace to let you know that He's saving you for something that is better for you, something that's grace for you, something that will really bless you, that will benefit your life. His plans are to prosper you and not to harm you. God would never intend for you to wait just to put you in torture, just to make you miserable. He's doing it because He wants better for you. He's doing it because He has better for you. Don't grow weary in doing well, because in due season, joy will come. Joy comes in the morning. So you don't know when that time's going to come. So appreciate the season that you're in. And although not every person is going to choose you, make sure that you always choose yourself.